again. Walter August, Bethel's Family to One Church. We're back again for a moment of spotlighting another one of our partners here at the One Church at Bethel's Family. Got a hold. I'm not on?
I wasn't on. You're right. Got to start over. Hi, Walter August here. Another moment at the One Church at Bethel's Family. We're highlighting our business partner, our business banker, Unity National Bank here in the Houston area and beyond. But before we do that, I want to just go ahead and have us take a moment to share this at this moment, because this is a historical day in the heart of the One Church, and also a historical year for Unity National Bank here in Houston and Atlanta, and also they are actually planning on venturing into some other markets. Today we have the Executive Vice President of Unity National Bank, Mr. Kwame Cain, with us. We're so glad you're able to be with us today. I'm so excited. And so why don't we do this? Why don't you just introduce yourself, and then we're going to go ahead and go into some Q&As.
Okay, it sounds good. So thank you so much. I'm very grateful to be here to represent Unity National Bank, my beloved institution.
Your beloved. I like that.
Yes, yes. So my name is Kwame Nkrumah Cain. I've been with Unity National Bank since 2018. I'm the Executive Vice President, General Counsel, Compliance, Head of Business Strategy. So I touch a lot of things in Unity National Bank. So.
Wow, and you wear many hats.
A lot of hats. So.
And I understand that, well, Unity National Bank is celebrating 60 years of existence this year.
Yeah, I like to say 60 years of existence and stewardship.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Now, one of the things I did, I went back and I said, let me see what else was going on when, however, the men or women came together to form Unity National Bank. What else was going on in 1963? And it really blew my mind. I have a list of things.
Okay.
It was during that same year that John F. Kennedy, President Kennedy, was assassinated. It was the same year that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. March on Washington, I Have a Dream speech. Same year, the Vietnam War was being enacted in a very strong and very forceful way. And my list goes on and on. And also, believe it or not, in the United States, they actually introduced zip codes in 1963.
Wow.
A matter of fact, the first Diet Cola that Coca-Cola put out, called Tab, was in 1963.
I remember Tab. My grandmother loved that.
Yes. And in the midst of all of those things, I was thinking, what was going on in America that was so tragic, so divisional, bipartisan, separation, not integration, the struggles of people of color, of culture, the African Americans. In the midst of all of these things going on, the marches, there was still a level of individuals who felt that it was time to move to empower people to economic and financial stewardship and success. Why don't you share with us, Mr. Cain, that first moment or that historical bubble, and who are those particular individuals? What was on their minds? What motivated them to go ahead and ignite the start of Unity National Bank?
Yeah, well, so it was led by Dr. Carroll, and Dr. Carroll was the main shareholder. And his vision was to empower. And the reason why I brought up stewardship before is that you want to be a leader of your people. You want to be like the good shepherd. And the good shepherd doesn't run away from his flock when there is in times of trouble.
Yes.
So during those times of trouble, and looking to empower and uplift his people, that's what the founders of Unity National Bank wanted to do. So we started the bank, We started with financial literacy, empowerment, empowering the businesses, empowering the minds, and starting in the homes of the children so that the children can be able to grow and have that financial literacy, start businesses, and have that economic empowerment. So that was the mindset.
Wow. And Dr. Carroll apparently was a stakeholder here in Houston. Mm-hmm. And part of that heart, that motivation of what he's seen, and over the years, Unity Bank has grown 6 decades.
Yeah.
And 60 years. Can you give us the insight of what is the portfolio of Unity National Bank? What is your lending capacity? And your member or your constituents or board members, give us a little bit of insight on how all of those things tie in to what you're casting vision for the next 60 years.
Okay, but let me also link, the turbulent times that Unity National Bank started at, and then also recently with COVID, George Floyd, you know, how Unity National Bank was still that steward, that good shepherd to lead, empower the community. We funded about 1,000 PPP loans for about 56 million. So we were able to save about 10,000 jobs and empower the community. And when all the other major banks were turning away small businesses during that turbulent times, like the Good Shepherd, we stayed there. We were there 2, 3 in the morning processing applications. So that just shows you that we've kept that same stewardship, that same mission-driven purpose, even after 60 years. And we're going to do that 60 years beyond because we're mission-driven and we're committed to the community.
Yes. And, you know, in the area of, I know, tell us about the board chair, tell us about the family, tell us about that structure.
Yeah, so we have tremendous support from our board of directors and our shareholders. We're led by the Lowell family. Head of the family is Dr. Case Lowell. He's a tremendous human being, a tremendous philanthropist, and a stalwart here in the community. During the financial crisis of 2008, when other small banks were taking TARP, from the federal government, our board of directors and our shareholders did not want to go that direction, and they opened up their own checkbook. So that shows you the commitment of the mission-driven purpose, and it starts from the top.
Yes.
And it starts from Dr. Lowell. So he's been a true leader and somebody that I try to emulate myself after, and everybody in executive management, because the leader starts. It starts with the head. So we have a strong board of directors. So we have Dr. Lowell. We have Carol Alvarado, who's a Texas state senator. We have Moaz Mangalji, who works in hospitality at Westmont Group. We have Sharon Murphy, who's a prominent consultant working at an accounting firm. And then we have Mr. Kamaru Lowell, who's Dr. Lowell's brother, who's the president of the family office, KMAC International Corporation.
Okay.
And so we have strong board of directors, strong shareholders, and we're supported by 6 of the largest banks in the United States. So Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, Bank of America, Citibank, Zions Bank, and then Cadence Bank are all our shareholders and stand behind us. So we have a strong, strong base. We're a different African-American owned bank because to have those 6 large institutions behind us, that's a testament.
And that's the longevity of life beyond our lives.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So when you look at our banks and you look at our support from the board, the shareholders, the big banks, that should tell you how strong we are, that other institutions believe in us. So
I was also understanding that Unity National Bank is one of 3 national banks with national charters.
Right.
Expound on that.
Well, having a national charter obviously, gives you that breadth, and you want that and that ability to scale up. And that's something that we've been focusing on because when I joined the bank, we were probably about 90 million in assets. Now we're about 215. So you want the ability to scale up, and having a national license does that, and you can have a presence, throughout the country. But it's an interesting story how we became a national bank. most small banks start off as a state bank.
Yeah.
But during that turbulent time, during the early 60s, there was a strong resistance to the founders of Union National Bank having a bank here in Houston, Texas. So they actually reached out to Lyndon Johnson, and Lyndon Johnson encouraged the founders of Unity National Bank
To apply for the
to
national.
apply for the national license. So that's a very unique story, and that's how we
Wow.
became. Well, we started off at Riverside National Bank, and you designate yourself as a national bank by either have a national or NA in your name. So right now we're Unity National Bank, but that's the story.
Wow. Well, now I know you have locations in Houston, the original Third Ward.
Right.
And then we also have Missouri City.
Yep.
And I know you have a branch in Atlanta, Georgia.
Right.
And talk to me, what's the future vision for other
Yeah.
locations?
Well, the future vision is, again, we're really going to focus on our branches here in Houston and Atlanta and really scale up. You know, go from the small business to the medium-sized business and, you know, offer tons of technology and services, and
Yes.
also build that base of financial literacy so that it's like I said, my mother always says, she was a school teacher, she says everything starts in the home. So what we want to do is have that financial literacy, get into the families and make it, you know, a way of life so that, you know, the children can start, you know, building up their wealth and
Yeah.
generation and just have that good solid foundation. And then, of course, I'm sure that the board of directors and the shareholders will love to expand upon that, you know, throughout the United States. Because it's important, because we're mission driven. We're a different type of institution. And it's an institution that I believe in, and it's a good quality when you combine that financial literacy. And of course, we're a bank, but when you have that special mission and you see you change people's lives and on the business level and individual level, you just can't beat that. And you want to spread that throughout the nation.
That's a blessing. Now we get back to the services that the branch banks offer. And because you have 5 of the bigger banks backing, there are not any services that Unity Bank does not offer based on that kind of backing.
Right.
Would that be a fair statement?
No, that's a very fair statement. That's why I said it's a blessing to have that backing, and, you know, we can create whatever products we want, you know. You know, we do it on our side in a safe and sound manner so that, you know, for the benefit of our communities. So we're invested in technology, we're invested in people, and that's going to result in good services for us.
Well, we got to come to the table and definitely tell Unity National Bank thank you, because it was a Sunday, I think back last November, that a building across the street from our campus here in the Fondren Southwest community went up for sale. When it went up for sale, I happened to be in the country of Angola at the time doing an economic development summit. And my executive pastor had texted me and says, the building we've been looking at for years, they just put a for sale sign out there. And of course, as soon as I got back and I got to the pulpit, I began to cast to the church that this building is available. We need to move expeditiously to go ahead and take it down because we need it for our school. And come Monday morning, one of Unity National Bank employees called me, Miss Laquita Bro, called me and said, listen, we want to come to meet. We want to come to be your banker. Yeah. Now, we did have some banking. We do have an account from a church perspective at Unity. And of course, we said, come on by. And the amazing thing, when we begin to have that dialogue and the rebranding and the revision, the remarketing of Unity, it took me personally to another level of being satisfied with Unity National Bank, and especially when we were able to get that particular property, closed on it, the loan was secured by Unity, 100% of it. We do have collateral to kind of back that up. But also, even working with us, say, you know something, we not only want to go ahead and actually get the building off the market and pay for it and then put it in a loan package. But we also want to come back to the table to also finish the construction side of that. It blessed our church body. It blessed us enough that I said, you know something, I need to get into our body to say, listen, we have to begin to take a second look, because all of us, we bank somewhere.
Right.
But take a second look at the historical national black-owned bank in the state of Texas that's nationally. Let's take a new look at them, and let's see if we can begin to garner another level of marketing trade where we go and open up accounts and begin to become supportive, because I do believe this is a time when Unity National Bank can definitely begin to meet the needs, whether it's a mom and pop operation or whether a major corporation, and bring Unity back to light. And that's what we'll be doing. That's what we've been doing. And this is part of this segment. And so what would you say to the neighborhood communities, the educational communities, the college communities, and the likes, those who tune in when it come down, how do they at least begin the ABC process of whether the website, who do I contact if I want to open up an account, I want to do a CD, I want to do a transfer. Can you give us information about that? But please, first and foremost, take the thank you from us for allowing that relationship to open up.
Well, no, you're very welcome, but we want to thank you. And I think one of the biggest messages that I want to impart is how we operate. And what I mean, Pastor, is that our elasticity. So when, for example, with your deal, people don't understand how we operate in terms of getting to a yes. That's our motto. We never really want to say no. I mean, we're bankers, we're conservative, but we try to get to a yes because we're mission driven. So we find a way to do the deal in order to not only protect the bank, but also for the best benefit of the customer. So that's one of the best things that I love about this job. And nobody sees behind the scenes in terms of how we work in the credit and lending in terms of how to structure the deal to get it done. Because we want to be there for the community. We want to be the bankers for the community. We want to be the pillar. Like I said, we want to be the good shepherds here and be that leader. So that's what I want to impart. In terms of how to get in touch with us, we're in Third Ward. We're in Fort Bend. We're in Atlanta. We have our branch managers there, Yolanda Villatoro, who's in Blodgett. We have our, Miss Bro, who's also in Fort Bend. So those would be the main points of contact. But we also have an updated website, which debuted today.
What a blessing.
So, what a blessing. So I was happy to see.
Perfect day.
Yeah, I was happy to see the updated website because everything's via technology now.
Yes.
So you need to be able to touch, via the website, just see the individuals there. And we have a great website, so people can reach us there. We're on social media. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Not TikTok yet, but we got to get there to get to Gen Z. So
Yes.
But so I think our social media and our websites are the best way to get in touch with us, and it's up to date and it's active.
One of the things I do know, and that's part of the piece of our church, many of them, believe it or not, even though they have African descent, didn't really have any knowledge of Unity National Bank. And with that said, when we started getting more involved with the deal we did for our school, I've had colleagues and others in Louisiana that do catch our social media site, and they were wondering, said, well, how can we get in contact to open up accounts? Ms. Bro was able to come down to Abbeville, Louisiana, where I'm from, and at least begin to build some soft relationships there. But I do believe that we like to give even a charge and a challenge, and not just to the African-American community, but any individual around the nation or even around the world. If you desire to bank, even long distance with Unity National Bank, I do believe that door is wide open. And the reason why I say that is because Now, my wife and I, we do have an account at Unity. And what I did, because of this particular partnership, we did open up a little savings account for all of our grandchildren. We have 11 of them there. And I do believe you have to always lead off by example. And that's something we've been pushing throughout. But I need for you to speak to a global community, because there are a lot of individuals that don't even know that Unity National Bank exists.
Yeah.
And if you have a 1-800 number, I know they can go to the website and get information. But if you had an opportunity to just speak to a global world right now, what would you say?
I mean, we are global. I mean, Unity National Bank. I mean, we have main shareholders from Nigeria. We have a Mexican-American woman as one of our board of directors. We have a black female who's board of directors. We have people from we have a Taiwanese controller. We have an Indian-American head of loan operations. We have Caucasians, African-Americans. So we're truly a global bank, by our makeup. So in terms of whether it's just anybody here in Houston or national, they can just come look at us and reach out to us and see themselves in our bank. And
so what you're saying that you guys are ready to travel?
Oh, we're ready to travel. No, that's no, in this day and age, it's incumbent upon us to, tell our story, tell who we are, and then so people can see themselves in us and see the sincerity and see the leadership. And that's what we're going to do. And we've been doing that. But we definitely need to do a better job in getting out there. And we're out there now. So every day somebody at Unity is pounding the pavement, telling our story.
Exactly. Now, I know they go to the website, they can catch all information. Do you have phone numbers that they can contact you if they had questions for you directly? Because sometimes they do. Directly
to me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they can definitely.
Well, why don't you go ahead and let them know what that number is?
Okay. Well, that number is 212-920-0380.
Okay. And that's your direct line to you.
My banking cell phone.
Banking cell phone. Give them that number one more time.
212.
I know you don't call yourself. Same thing with me.
Right. So it's 212-920-0380.
Yeah, and that way, and you are the executive vice president of Unity National Bank.
Right.
There's not too much that happens in Unity National Bank that you don't know about.
Oh, I know everything every day.
Well, that's a good thing. Now, I know we were talking earlier, because the other thing I like, when Dr. Lawal came, family is important.
Yeah.
And you and I were just sharing earlier about your mom and dad and your family, even though you were born in California, but your mom and dad were born in Mississippi.
Right.
And how important is family? Because family is everything.
Yeah. I mean, look, growing up, always had the saying that family is the seeding of character. And my mom being a school teacher for 45 years, she said it all starts in home.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's the family. I have my mom's brother who's out here in Houston. I see him every Sunday. I call my mom every day. Everybody at work knows when I come in, I'm like, hey, Mom, how's it going?
Yeah.
I love my brother. I talk to him every day.
Yeah.
My father has passed away, but family is just truly important.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I like working at Unity National Bank, because it's a family.
Yeah.
And it's owned by a family office. Starts with the Lawals, and the Lawals is a great family.
Yeah.
And like I said, everything starts from the top, and it's just amazing, and it's a blessing.
Yeah, and you've been with the Lawals family even prior to
the Unity National Bank.
National Bank.
I can't say enough in terms of the mentorship and the leadership and the style of person, and even now has molded me as a man.
Yeah.
It's been really great working for the Lawals.
How many degrees are you holding?
Only two degrees. I graduated Stanford University in 1998 And then I graduated law school at Harvard in 2001.
Wow. You know something, when you think about, even with our youngsters, the motivating factors to encourage them to higher learning, and you might be already involved, I don't know, in the area of mentoring the young minds. Would you like to go into a door? Because one of the things I do know, the lack of mentorship with our young males or young females, the lack of motivation, the lack of encouragement, hinder them from going forward. You just happen to be in a blessed situation where both your parents were educated, so it was automatic that this is the way we're going. And so what are some things that Unity offer in the area? I know financial literacy is one thing, but are there any other opportunities for mentorship within the schools? Do you guys go into the schools? It might be an educator, a teacher, or it might be a principal that might view this and say, you know something, we like to get some of this, not the resources alone, but some of the experience and encouragement by going into the schools and encouraging those students. Would you like to speak on that?
Yeah, I mean, that's an avenue I think that we need to go into. I know individually, employees of Unity National Bank have done that. I know I've done that through my fraternity. And I've both here in Houston and also Los Angeles also set up a scholarship, at my old school, in order to mentor the young men and women there. But I know individually, whether it's myself, Miss Burrow, or Miss Price, have gone out to different schools, high schools and junior high, in order to offer that mentorship. But as an organization, that's something that, we need to do.
Well, one of the things, I'm so glad you're able to come to this campus, and I'm not sure if you had a whole walkthrough of our entire campus.
Oh, yeah.
But we do need to take you guys to our new location where we transferred Heavenly Hands.
Okay.
And Heavenly Hands Ministry, it's our social arm of the church. And they were housed here for the last 11 years. And because of the number of clienteles that they see, they serve over 16,000 people every month. Right. And I just got the numbers for this past month. And we definitely want you guys to get a glimpse of that, because there are other opportunities banking-wise at Heavenly Hands. And today just happened to be the day that they served the entire Houston community in the area of making sure nobody go to bed hungry, because we are in a food desert. And so we want to definitely give you guys the invitation that even your employees or however your staff do have opportunities to come and volunteer on site here, because we have a lot of opportunities for volunteerism and partnerships. And then likewise on behalf of our church as well. Is there anything else, Mr. Kwame, that you would like to let the community know about concerning Unity while we have this opportunity?
I like that because that is, one of our mottos. Unity creates opportunity.
Yes.
The biggest thing again is the people and the culture. We have a good team, and that creates the stability, and that helps us with our mission-driven purpose.
Yes.
We're here. We're strong. We're getting, safely and soundly. We're getting bigger, but we're going to be here for another 60 years, and we have great, tremendous support, and we're ready to serve.
That's a tremendous blessing. Well, on behalf of the One Church here at Bethel's Family, again, and the number of people that tune in to what we do, it is vitally important that we do have strong banking partners. And even for those who may not feel that your credit score is at a place that can get you that car loan or go into a mortgage, I would still have you contact Unity National Bank, because there are programs. And Ms. Bro was speaking about credit repair, or preparing you so you can eventually apply and get that loan. Small business loans. I knew through the pandemic, you guys work heavily with the Small Business Association to get those loans out to the businesses to keep employees on payroll. And so I don't want you to get into a fix, because I'm one that believe if you come to the table, and even as a small business, a mom and pop, and you need to get financials together, a profit and loss statement, or even want to learn how to set up a business account, I think that's still worth you calling to find out. And this is a community bank, a national bank, but a community bank where you can speak and you can sit down and talk with a human being. And they will definitely, Ms. Bro has been stellar to the point where she's family running around here at the one church at Bethel's family. So she may visit to come drop me off just something in the mail or something, and she may stay here 35 minutes talking to people because they enjoy her fellowship and they know her. And this is the community bank that all entities need. So please give them a call, visit their location. There's one in Fort Bend off of Texas Parkway, and then there's the headquarter in 3rd Ward off of Blodgett and Live Oak. They're on that very corner. Definitely you can contact Mr. Kwame Cain. He gave you his cell number earlier. You can contact that bank. And if you have questions for me, just pick up the phone and call us, and we'll redirect you however we can. But again, it's really a blessing. And we hope to have some future podcast moments on updates, anything that's new that Unity is promoting, that we can come back and sit down and have another cup of coffee, another conversation. Please know the invitation is open.
Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you so much. Well, we thank all of you again for tuning in. Please share, please call. God bless all of you, and the Lord's will we see all of you real soon.